I'm Belma. I think publicly now, first time talking about the topic of acquisition and how it all went. Feel free to ask me any questions at the end. I may miss some of the details. It's been a while. So yeah, definitely keep the questions for the end, and I hope I'll try to get through everything. A little bit about me. I'm a software engineer, passionate since always about startups, Web3, and open source. Or at least that's what I used to say before I started scuba diving. How it all actually started. Actually, my personal story with blockchain development. As I said, crypto enthusiast and long time known Bitcoin, altcoins, all of these like thingies that you can transfer some funds to, but I didn't realize until 2017 that you can actually build application logic on blockchain, and it kind of runs in a decentralized way. I was about to end like college and was looking for new challenges, and thanks to the 2017 ICO hype, the news kind of got to me that you can build really cool stuff on Ethereum. So for those who are not familiar with the 2017 and the ICO stands for initial coin offering. So basically everyone could easily create a token, create a crowd sale web page, and just kind of start kind of selling their tokens, their equity or whatever in a very quick way. This was done like using Ethereum and smart contracts, so Solidity was new back then. It was like, okay, this is easy. I'll just kind of learn Solidity a little bit more, and we'll start kind of creating those smart contracts and building ICOs for easy money. Because it was requested a lot, like there were not many Solidity devs out there. It was like, okay, this could be easy money really, because it was paid very well. At least that was the idea. So yeah, back then with my co-founder Marin, we worked on some other startups, but we decided to kind of go into that together. So we opened a company called NodeFactory, and we started earlier on some projects, but I think it was March 2018 when we officially opened up the company. Here's Bitcoin chart, and this is when we officially opened. So this is all the ICO hype over here. Price go up. This is where we came in, and we were like, where are all those ICO smart contracts that we can build for good money? And this is kind of when it went down. Why is it important? Because we just kind of got into the market, into the space, and then the bear market comes in. So a lot of people experience that bear market. A lot of those ICO contracts or ICO startups that raised funds just went through their first bear market, and it wasn't easy for everyone. I remember clients ours coming in, they were also like, they had funds in ETH, and at some point they were like, sorry, like we're out of funding. We kept all our funds in ETH, and now it's gone. So yeah, these are definitely like early market mistakes. It was hard for us because at the point we didn't have a lot of clients, and we didn't build those ICO smart contracts easily. We definitely started with a few interesting startups to build. And yeah, at the point we were like, oh, should we go back to Web 2? Like, what do we do? But we kind of stick to the strategy and just kind of continued focusing on blockchain dApps, trying to find and land some freelancer gigs. So just to go through the bear market. And we did. So I think it was July 2021 that we exited, so almost at the top. This picture is from our first office in Zagreb. There was in Zicer, as it's called today, where we were just the two of us and our two dogs making mess in the office. What we worked on, definitely dApps. We worked, I would say, 25 clients, at least the successful collaborations. Those were foundations, so Ethereum Foundation, Filecoin Foundation, Web3 Foundation, they all given these grants. DAOs as well, they would put request for proposal, we would apply, and get the funds, get the project going. We definitely worked a lot with startups. Yeah, so as we kind of offered the complete package, so from smart contract development, backend, frontend, we also like had designers that we collaborated with. We taken a lot of startups. They would just come in with the idea. We would go through the discovery phase with them, turn the thing upside down, make sure we cover everything so it looks works very good, and just kind of ship it in usually 3 to 6 months. I would say this was our kind of a niche and the projects that we most enjoyed working with. From the blockchain perspective and ecosystem, mentioned Ethereum, Filecoin, Polkadot, and we even tried doing some things with Cardano. And we did a few audits along the way. Community events. These are super special for us, super special things still in crypto to use and to expand your network. The in-person time is very, very valuable. And that's how we kind of started getting clients, or at least started getting word of mouth that we're doing something. This was Block Split 1. Yeah, still very good memories from that one. And these type of conferences were small, but had really good people there. And the intimate conferences, the smaller ones, are really where you get kind of the best value of. So honestly, I hope Block Split doesn't grow very, very large, because it's very special, keeping it kind of niche and boutique. ECC in Paris, where also everyone could fit into one picture. This year I'm not even going, it's just becoming too big and too much of everything. We did a lot of local events. I found this picture, so I just kind of wanted to show the grind. This was job fair at the faculty in Zagreb. We couldn't really hire blockchain developers back then. Like, there was no one with experience of blockchain development, so we kind of found Web2 devs and taught them blockchain. So students were definitely our target audience for hiring, so we would show up at those job fairs. We never paid them anything, we were kind of squatting there. So you can see here, the company paid like 2 days for the event. But they couldn't attend the second day. So we just kind of came in, took their name on, put our sticker on it, and just kind of squat there and pretend we belong. Open source was a big thing for us. So everything was by default open source, or eventually it has been open sourced. The picture is not so important because after acquisition, we moved a lot of projects to Chainsafe organization. But yeah, as we were kind of going into this early blockchain development, a lot of tools were not missing. So we open sourced a lot of developer tooling that we needed, a lot of starters and infrastructure things, so everything that could get used by others. These are also like one of the things, kind of EIPs that you need to consider during acquisition, because we just took for granted a lot of these things. A lot of repositories be used by others, fork, start. It has its own kind of a value that you may take for granted just because you kind of built it for yourself and put it out there. But it's also kind of a really important part of the company. Lodestar is kind of a special open source project. It's a client implementation for Ethereum that is being developed by Chainsafe. So it started 5 years ago, but it was our first collaboration. So during kind of things where we had some time on our hands, we kind of started contributing to other open source projects, and one of them is Lodestar. And that's kind of how we started collaborating with Chainsafe, really, and just kind of making some smaller PRs, and it kind of grew to meeting them and kind of having more regular conversations. So yeah, with Lodestar and kind of hanging more with Chainsafe, I guess they got into this idea to acquire us. So I'll go kind of through the steps that we had to go through in acquisitions from first reaction, evaluation, communication, timeline, and eventually onboarding. So yeah, first reaction, I remember it very well. Yeah, they wanted to schedule a meeting with us. I was like, on Friday, I was like, Marin, I really want to go to this trip. Just take the meeting and we'll see later. Probably they will just want another thing that we built. So just scope it out and we'll talk later. I remember then Friday afternoon, driving and Marin is calling. He's like, hey, they want to acquire us. And he starts like pitching it as this great idea. I was like, no, like how dare they? So yeah, eventually like I definitely didn't see it going because like we had other plans, like we wanted to grow, do this and that. But we started talking more with Chainsafe and met all the management, went through multiple conversations with them to understand kind of their vision, their values and all of that. And yeah, I guess I liked what I heard because eventually I changed my mind. So for me, it wasn't just about the exit. It was really about me being happy in another company because as a kind of a startup owner, and you have your own freedom, and I was afraid to lose that. So it was really important to me to kind of realize how the future will Chainsafe will look like. And also not just me, but all other employees as well. There was 9 of us at the time, so just kind of making sure that they're happy with that and how things will kind of look for them was really important. So yeah, we eventually said yes, gotten lawyers in to start the whole process, and then things get tricky. Like how do we even like cash this out? Like what parameters do we look like? So we're looking at our past revenue. We're only like 3 years old, so it's not like there is so much data. The market also very early. I mean, there are evaluations, but those are all very wide on the spectrum. You can always hire like a company to do the evaluation for you, but as a small startup, it's just not feasible as it costs a lot. And again, as I said, there's like this one? Okay, thank you. So potential market that you look like IP, things you've built. So we worked with a lot of clients, some of them still ongoing contracts. We had also like our own product that we started going and was about to get some traction. Team size as well, so crypto that we're holding, that wasn't in the books, of course. So a lot of these things, like, yeah, it's just kind of insane to present and insane for us to calculate. So started talking to just kind of people from the community, from other startups, from people that invest in startups, like what to do. This was also acqui-hire type of thing, so the team size was quite important. I don't know, one of the things that the advice was just kind of take the team size, take any number, just kind of multiply it, and that's how you get your price. So yeah, it's basically just kind of a negotiation, but it's really hard to kind of look at the whole picture objectively and see kind of what it's worth. Communication part, both internally and externally, was kind of hard to do in a sense, because internally we had to, like when we saw that things are going, like we had to inform the team members. So we had all hands and it's like, hey, this is probably going to happen and this is how things might look for you. And just kind of keeping everyone informed and in the loop of what's going on, so we don't have any surprises. We definitely wanted people to felt also appreciated through the whole process and not just we're exiting by. Externally, we had to manage expectations from our clients, For some of them, it was hard because I couldn't guarantee that we'll continue developing the projects because Chainsafe was working on different scope of projects and had other teams. So it was really hard for them because at some point we had to kind of finish everything and just kind of stop collaboration. So it's important to like get this communication early and just manage those expectations and include some PR as well. The whole thingy, lasted like 9 months until this baby was signed. So maybe a little bit more if we start the kind of if we include the early conversations. Honestly, I think we like Chainsafe and us like had this figured out everything in like 1 month. The rest of 8 months are just lawyers complicating things, literally. I mean, the due diligence is definitely, you know, taking some time. They look into, you give them all the recommendations. You get your accountant to work on a lot of reports. It's really important to get good lawyer and good accountant. I mean, there is a saying like, cheap accountant will cost you definitely more money, something in those lines. So yeah, definitely get someone good that you can trust. And yeah, they just kind of overextended the process. And I mean, lawyer's job is to kind of do their things well, but they overcomplicate in a sense. You end up with this pile of papers when you just kind of had to be 2-paper agreement, literally. On the way, their lawyers were just the type of lawyers that try to fuck you up, literally, in a sense of they were trying to put clauses in the contract that will kind of skew us in the way. And we were like, we didn't agree with that. Like, did you check with your client? I was like, yes, our client said that. And we're like, hey, Chainsafe, this is happening. They were like, what? So yeah, lawyers were literally the bad guys that, I don't know, try to justify their pay or something like that. But yeah, I have to go through different hurdles. And then the onboarding itself, everyone was like, yeah, we want it to be as smooth as possible. First you and Marin join, and then we'll onboard everyone else. We'll have like, because you have to onboard to the company and all of their processes, but also like onboarding to the projects, it's never smooth. So just kind of don't expect that. Prepare to be, I don't know, a mess for a few months until things settle. And yeah, just kind of, importantly, the things that we're working today is what we also kind of started initially, and that's really building the core Web3 infrastructure and building open source tools for the community. So yeah, nothing changed in that end, and kind of a three years later that everyone is still at the company and just building cool things. Seems like I have some QA time, so thank you for listening.
Hi, thanks for the presentation. I'm curious, what did the average employee get from the acquisition? Did they get a pay raise? Did they get some cash and so on?
Yeah, that's a good one. So from Chainsafe side, they definitely gotten a pay raise because Chainsafe pays kind of a globally similar in Croatia as it does in other countries. So that was definitely very beneficial for them. When it comes to like the acquisition deal, employees were not part of that, but Marin and I decided that we'll take some of the cash that we had and just kind of split it, distribute it to people that were in the company. So the ones that were like longer in the company would get more. So it was just kind of us on our own decided to share some of it, especially the crypto part. Yeah, eventually they all got ESOP, so contracts, so options in Chainsafe.
Thank you for all the open source contributions. I wanted to I wanted to ask, did you face any employee churn during the 9+ month period? And what would you say was your most effective tactic for preventing it?
You mean from people that were in Croatian office?
Well, NodeFactory had employees, you
Yes,
were in
yes,
the
yes.
M&A process. Probably people get antsy not knowing what the future will be like. So how did you prevent people from just scattering and leaving the company in this important times?
As I said, kind of early communication was super important, and then we kind of collected info from the employees, like what's important for them, and made sure to kind of also take care during the process to get those questions answered, and get that info to them. So they were kind of getting the most important information as we went. I mean, obviously, like payroll was very important, and which project they would work on. Luckily we had a large voice as we kind of went to, kind of upper management of Chainsafe to get also ability to decide like which projects should someone work in, and kind of it worked out. To be completely honest, everyone's at that time that joined Chainsafe is still in the company today, so all 9. We only had like 1 student that wasn't doing very well, so we just kind of decided to split ways with him before the acquisition, because everyone else, like I knew they would do well, but for them they needed some more hand holding, so it's like, yeah.
Thank you. So transparency, that's the
Absolutely.
So if you didn't sell, do you think now you would have like a bigger company, better company? Were there any opportunities that you all saw that to create a product?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I mean definitely thought about it. Yeah, I mean there's the money part. Definitely, I would go and get some funds, get investment if I was doing it again. Because bootstrapping and doing it on your own, I think we put only like 20K kunas, which is minimum requirement to open company in Croatia, in the company, and not extra cent to invest. I would definitely maybe try and change that, like invest more and get some advantage on that end. Especially on the product side. I don't know, it's really hard to raise from Croatia as well. So I'm not sure how would that go, like even today, I think it's definitely harder. Yeah, I had another point to share, but sorry, you were, the first part is money, the second part is overall happiness. I think it would take me like another year or more to be able to go on a vacation and not look at the code, not look at the deployment process or anything. Because as a small company, I had to wear many hats. So going on vacation didn't mean much to me. Like I couldn't just switch off and turn offline. And yeah, since I joined Chainsafe, I definitely can do that every time. So